solving distributed transaction issue in a .NET Core microservice architecture with practical example. Welcome to Coding Friday, guys. My name is Chandra Shwaryani, and this video is a continuation of a series in what we are implementing the Saga to achieve this requirement. So what we have the requirement, we have already seen how to configure the local system for the RabbitMQ. We have already covered. In the third video, we have seen that how we can do the communication from one microservice to another. That means, let me give you a quick overview what we have covered so far. So we have created this order microservice. Then we created the stock microservice and added one consumer. Also, we have created the RabbitMQ. You can see we have this bus and the message. So this is something we have done so far. Now next what? In order to exactly achieve the same requirement how it happens in the production, it is important that we do exactly like it happens in the real environment. That means attaching with the database. Yes, so in this tutorial I'll create a database, ordering database for order microservice, and in real we will save the record in the database, and that is the only way with which we can see that how we can undo the data when transaction fails in a second or third microservices. So for that it is important. So in order to do so, there are two important things. First, I'll do the entity framework core migration. That means with the help of model I will generate the database, and then we will write two methods to get the data and to save the data, just to make sure that our migration and the CRUD operation with the database is working fine. So let me open, like I always open, the steps. So these are the steps. So the first step is you have to install the packages. So I'm going into the order microservices. Now focus for this series is just to show you the implementation of Saga, not to show you how we can connect with the database in a best way. It is just a small demonstration. So I will not create a separate infrastructure folder, which is highly recommended in a real scenario, but I'm going to do in the same project. So first click on this, maybe you can do this with the tools and package controller and package console. So I have opened the package console so that I can install the packages. So the first package I have to install is, and maybe I can zoom this as well so it is visible to you. So install package Microsoft Entity Framework Core .design. The second package you need to install Entity Framework Core .SQL Server. Now the third package, Entity Framework Core .tools. So these are the three packages you need to install. Then create order model. So we already have this order model. Now okay, so I'll add one more thing here. So which is I'll make use of the data annotation. So why I'm doing so? Because let me stop this. Because with this help of this model I'll create the database. Now I have to have the unique ID or primary key ID in the database, and that's why I have to use this key. After that I have to create the order DB context class. So again, let's create a infra folder here, just a temporary infra folder, and create a class order DB context. Now this is the class which have to inherit from the DB context, and this class has to provide that which table do you want to create, what properties that table will have, and what I need to do while running the application. Or actually it has some methods, we will see what they are. So let's take help of the GitHub repository. This is my GitHub repository, and I have so many repositories and they help me a lot, because when you already have something or complete it, why not take the reference from that one? So I created one video for the same, so I'll make use of this today. Let's see how it works. And this is how I always recommend you guys while you use my GitHub repository. Either you can download the zip file, in that you will find the entire code, or you can do one by one as per the video. So the first thing is I need this order DB context class, and copy this and replace this. Now what it says, as I said, we need to inherit from the DB context class. After that it says which model. So we are saying this order data, and then it says on configuring, I was talking about that one method. So this method will come into the picture when you will try to retrieve the data from the database or save the data from into the database. So that will come into the picture at that time. So another one was, another step is you have to make an entry in the app setting file. So where it is, app setting file, here it is, and is nothing, you have to provide the connection string. Of course you have to provide the connection string where you want to create the database, and for me I have local server name. This is my order DB and the name of the database I want, and integrate security to true. Similarly we have the same database here. So after that we have to make an entry in the startup file, and the entry is pretty simple. Let's open our startup file, and just below this, although you can do at the upside as well. So provide the order DB context and the user SQL server, and the ordering database key has to be same which you have in the app setting. So it will fetch the data from here. Now next step is add the migration command. Now before I run this migration command, I will what I will do, I'll create this order data access class and iOrder data access class. This is nothing, they are the simple classes which will help me to get the data from the database. So iOrder class and iOrder data access class. So this is the interface, and so where do I create, let me create this here, and replace this interface has two methods, get all orders and save order model. Okay. Before passing our data to the different microservice, first we will save into the database. That's why we are doing these things, and this is the only way. With the help of this we can reproduce the same requirement, how data we can revert in the microservices if anything fails. So let's copy the class, and this is the simplest class. Don't worry about the methods, you I think must be familiar. This is the simplest ever get and save and get methods. So focus is not writing the code as per the best practices for these files, because this is our just for the basic sake we want to save the data. That's all. That's all our purpose is. Now go to the startup file and open your startup file once again and provide the dependency, because in the order controller you would need this. Once you have done, that says next is order controller. So let's open our order controller, what it has for us. We already have the order controller. So it first says provide the dependency injection of, okay, we already have a constructor. So can you just give me the order data access? Yes. And then maybe this interface sit here. After that I'll assign the value so that I can call the methods infra. We are good. Now it has one method. Let's first of all call this get method. It has the get all and it will call the get all. So let's see, we have done all the steps and we have actually skipped these two steps, right? These two steps. So why I have skipped those steps, we'll see. So I'm going to run this application, and maybe I think I should cancel because I want to show you something. Let me add a try catch here. What I want to show you is, let's return null. Sorry. What I want to show you that right now we do not have the database, although we have done all the configuration in the code, but we have not yet run those commands. That means we do not have the database. We just want to verify with this method. So 44376, open your Postman. You can make use of Swagger or Postman, whichever you feel like comfortable. Go to this get method and API order get all. Yeah, this is the method. Now click on this send button. We have at send. Try to get the data and see what happens. So it is trying to search for the database, which in real does not exist. So we should have the same exception. For that, I think we have to wait for, yeah, we have the exception. Let's read the exception. It clearly says cannot open database order DB. Yes, you are right. You cannot open because it does not exist. Now we will create the database. Now for that, we have to run the commands. The first command is add migration. In migration, after that you have to provide the name, so you can name it anything. Order DB MIG. So I think I should zoom, and XYZ, so you can name it anything. So it will generate the migration file, and this is the file which will be used by the another command to update or to create the data. So let's see what happened. You can see one migration folder is created and it has two files. So one, this is your table, similar properties, order ID, card number, order name, user ID, the same which you have in the view model, right? And you said this is my key, the order ID is my primary key. The another file has the two methods, which is the up and the down. Up for creation of the table and down for dropping the table. So each time when you will update the command, the next command which you are going to run, so first it will drop the table and it will create the table. So we are done. Now let's run the command called update database. So if the database exists, it rewrites the database with the migration file. Maybe you create another model and update the migration file, and this command will update the database with new file. But if does not exist, it will create. Now it has created the database or not. To verify this, let's run the application once again. 44376 URL is, and try to get the data once again. But first let it load. Great. So click on this send. Now let's see what happens. Press F10. F10. It goes to the database and see, we do not have any exception this time, and that was we were expecting. But at the same time, we do not have the data as well. Of course, we don't have because we have not added any entry. Now we will add. So let's back to our code where we are sending the data to this microservice. Now before sending the data, we have to save in DB. Now save in DB in real, let's say when any customer sends you the sends the order request, at first we save in the order microservice DB, and then generate some token or some what we say GUID or a unique ID, which will be used during the complete transaction as a unique ID, and we can get the state of that particular transaction, that what exactly it is happening with this. So that's why we at first saved into the database. Now to save into the database, we have to just call this same method. I think we have this order data access dot save, and it is expecting order model. So this is my order model. So now let's run the application one more time. And call the post method 44376. This is 444 44376, right? And this is the order ID, product ID, and name. So let's put a debugger. We already have. Let it run. It takes some time. Okay, click on this send, and keep your yeah, we already have the stock MS is up and running. So it will go and try to save the data, save the changes, and after that it will send the information. We are good. Let's add maybe one more. Create GUID. This is the unique ID each time it will generate, and we need a unique key because our order ID is now primary key. So that's why I recreated this, and let's remove this. Now you have this. Maybe we can go 1 2 3 4 and one test product. This one maybe we can do this time. It was already there. Press F10. It will save, and then it will go to the microservice 2. Now call this get method. This time instead of empty array, we should have two datas. We have the two datas, right? So we have just configured the database with our application, and we'll continue with the same code in the next video. Or this that time what we're gonna do, we will add some logic here, and based on that either we will proceed to the next microservice, or we will revert the data. And also we will introduce the Saga state machines in the next tutorial, and that's the important aspect. That's the important video for the entire series. So stay tuned, and thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being at Coding Friday. I just want to tell you, if you have any queries or comments, kindly let me know. You can follow me LinkedIn if you want to have another discussion, any sort of different sort of technical discussion. You have a technical problem you are facing, you can always get in touch with me. And please subscribe the Coding Friday channel, because that is something which motivates me. So yeah, thank you for watching this. Let's continue the next part.